Shocking clash alert. Meghan Markle versus Joy Behar on The View turns into TV history's wildest showdown. Hold onto your seats, because when Hollywood royalty steps into the fiery arena of daytime TV's toughest panel, the result is pure chaos. What happens when Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, faces off with Joy Behar and the unrelenting cohorts of The View? It was meant to be a simple book promo, but oh boy, it spiraled into a scorching confrontation that left everyone speechless. This isn't just another celebrity interview gone wrong, at a masterclass in how fast things can explode on live TV. Before we dive into this jaw-dropping story, smash that subscribe button and drop a comment below, because trust me, you won't believe how this epic battle unfolds. The stage was set the second Meghan Markle walked onto The View's iconic set, dressed in a sleek cream blazer. Her signature megawatt smile was locked and loaded, but if you looked closely, you could see a flicker of nerves in her eyes seasoned. Viewers knew something was brewing. This wasn't going to be a fluffy, feel-good chat. The air buzzed with tension as the audience settled, and sensing a storm was coming, Joy Behar, the queen of sharp commentary, sat at the head of the table, her eyes gleaming with mischief. She was ready to stir the pot, and the crowd could feel it. This was no ordinary episode of The View. This was a showdown destined to break the internet. Welcome back to The View. I'm Joy Behar, and today we're joined by Meghan Markle. Joy announced, her voice carrying that telltale edge that screams trouble ahead. The audience clapped politely, but the vibe fell off almost staged, like everyone knew they were on the edge of something huge. Meghan settled into her seat, crossing her legs with practiced grace. Her hands gripped a coffee mug, but the way her fingers tightened just a bit too much betrayed her polished exterior. Something was simmering, and Joy was about to crank up the heat. Meghan, thanks for being here. Joy continued, her tone laced with just enough skepticism to set the tone. You're here to talk about your new children's book, but I think our viewers are more curious about some of your other projects. Lately, the words hit like a lightning bolt, and the other cohorts exchanged quick glances. Whoopi Goldberg leaned back, her expression unreadable, but her eyes sharp, like she could smell drama a mile away. Sunny Hostins, ever the lawyer, sat poised with her pen ready to strike when the moment called. Sarah Haynes shifted uncomfortably, clearly sensing the tension, but unsure how to navigate it. Meghan, media trained to perfection, flashed a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Well, Joy, I'm thrilled to talk about anything that helps kids develop empathy and understanding, she said smoothly, sidestepping the bait. But there was a slight edge to her voice, a hint of defensiveness that Joy's radar picked up like a shark, sensing blood. Empathy and understanding. Joy repeated her words slow and deliberate, letting them linger like a storm cloud. That's interesting, Meghan, because I've been wondering about the empathy and understanding you've shown your own family lately. Bam. The studio went dead silent. Even the cameramen seemed to freeze, their lenses locked on Meghan's face. That was the first real jab, and it hit hard. Meghan's smile flickered for a split second, but she recovered like a pro. I think family relationships are complicated, Joy, she said, her voice steady but laced with steel, and I've always believed in handling private matters privately. The audience murmured, some nodding in approval, others waiting for the next blow. Joy wasn't done, not even close. Private. Sunny Hostins jumped in, her lawyer's instincts kicking in. Meghan, when you put your family business on global TV and interviews and Netflix documentaries, can you really call it private anymore? The crowd gasped and cheered in equal measure. This was what they came for, the kind of unfiltered, gloves off questioning that makes The View a daytime powerhouse. Meghan's posture stiffened, her Duchess training battling her instinct to fight back. I think there's a difference between sharing your truth and exploiting family drama for entertainment. She shot back, her voice rising just enough to show she was ready to fight. Joy's eyes lit up like a predator spotting prey. Your truth, she said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. That's a very California way of putting it, isn't it? But what about everyone else's truth? What about your father's truth, your sister's truth? Meghan's jaw tightened, her grip on the coffee mug turning, her knuckles white. My father chose to work with tabloids against me, she said, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. That's not my truth, that's a fact. Oh, sweetheart, Joy said, leaning forward with that condescending tone that made her a legend. Don't you think there might be more to the story? Don't you think maybe, just maybe, you played a role in how things went down? The audience was hooked, some clapping for Joy's boldness, others shifting uncomfortably as the tension soared. Whoopi stayed silent, her eyes flicking between Meghan and Joy like she was watching a chess match. Sarah looked like she wanted to vanish, while Sunny was clearly plotting her next move. Meghan took a slow sip of her coffee, buying time to steady herself. The cameras caught a faint tremble in her hand as she set the mug down, a detail that would go viral in hours. Joy, I came here to talk about children's literacy and empowerment, she said, her voice calm, but carrying a warning not to relitigate family drama the media has already torn apart. But that's just it, isn't it? Joy, press, relentless. You can't separate the two. You want to talk about empowering kids, but what kind of example are you setting when you cut off your own family, when you make accusations on global TV, without giving them a chance to respond to studio? Buzz, the audience split between those nodding with joy and those casting sympathetic glances at Meghan. This was the kind of divided reaction that producers live for pure, unfiltered TV magic. Meghan's jaw clenched, her eyes narrowing. I think that a very unfair characterization. She said, her voice steady. But Bernie and my family had plenty of chances to work things out privately. They chose tabloids instead. Sonny saw her opening in pounds. But when you tell Oprah someone in the royal family made racist comments about your son, that's not exactly keeping things private. Is it? The question landed like a thunderbolt, the audience gasping in. Eunice and the gloves were off. Meghan turned to Sonny her. Composure cracking just enough to reveal the fire beneath. Are you seriously questioning whether I should have spoken up about racism aimed at my child? She asked, her voice trembling with rage. Sonny didn't flinch. In questioning the time and the venue, and the lack of specifics that let people draw their own conclusions, and maybe implicate innocent people, she said with courtroom precision. Joy sensed blood and went for it. And speaking of timing, she said, her voice thick with insinuation, isn't it convenient that these revelations came out right when you needed to fix your public image, right? When you needed to justify walking away from royal duties? Meghan's eyes flashed with fury. Convenient. She repeated, her voice rising. You think it was convenient to relive the most traumatic moments of my life on global TV? You think it was convenient to have my mental health struggles dissected by millions? The studio was a pressure cooker. Now the tension, so thick you could choke on it. What started as sharp questions had spiraled into a full-on verbal brawl, and the audience was eating it up. Enjoyed this video? Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment.